Hi everybody and welcome to another video. I am overly excited, my dear friends, to bring you good news. I made a community post about it yesterday as a making of this video, but I was excited and very happy to see that Jim Zub, the author of the latest Conan the Barbarian comic book series published by Titan Comics, received an award, which is the Robert E. Howard Foundation Costigan Award at Howard Days. And my reaction was, well, that was well-deserved. I know that on my channel I say that I'm not an overly huge fan of anything new that comes out today, because there's very little that is able to grasp my attention, my interest, something that can please my eye and please my ear, and overall please my need and my want for quality literature or cinema, and, well, in general, quality entertainment. And that I prefer to go back to the past and enjoy things that I might already have enjoyed in the past, or discover things that I have never enjoyed and that are quality and that are out there. However, I always say, and also say, that from time to time, you can find a bright gem. I'm not such a pessimistic person. I'm not a negativity grabber. Absolutely not. Who would be saying that everything 100% of things is bad. On the other hand, I really quite the opposite. On my channel, you can find many reviews and many videos about things, be it a book, a comic book, a TV show, or a film that has been published or that has come out recently, and that's very good. And one of these things is the Conan the Barbarian series by Titan Comics. I have yet to check out the Savage Sword of Conan. They also published that. I've got the first, I think, 5 issues of that series covered in my video reviews. Alas, as it is, people don't really watch reviews of quality literature. They prefer to watch clickbaity, click-grabby videos like Disney is in panic, but it is good to present you, to bring you a recommendation of something good. And so I hope you won't mind that I will add the review of my my review of the first issue of this comic book series that I made about 8 months ago to this video. So enjoy, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, and for those of you who have, re-enjoy this, and maybe this will spark your attention and make you want to buy this very good work of art that has quite deservedly received the Robert E. Howard Foundation Costigan Award. And that will be all, so enjoy. A brand new Conan the Barbarian story. Is it worth reading? Let's find out. Hi everybody and welcome to another video by Chrome, my dear friends. Please do look at the screen. A lot of people all over the internet are saying that all modern entertainment is bad, and I am here to prove them wrong. I know I've been saying that also, but I also say that here and there is a bright gem that needs to be pointed out. It is necessary to point out something that is worth acquiring, that is worth your money, that is worth enjoying, because it is quite objectively of a very high quality. And this is one of those cases. This is Conan the Barbarian by Titan Comics, issue 1, my dear friends, and this is a review of it. There will be some spoilers, so if you don't want this issue to be spoiled for you, please do leave, purchase this comic book, read this comic book, and then come back. It is worth it, both the comic and my review. Now, right away from the very beginning, you can see there, it was written by Jim Zub, it was illustrated by Roberto de la Torre, and if you look at the credits there, do you remember the old Conan the Barbarian and the Savage Sword of Conan, and for that matter, any old 80s comic books that included those little nicknames above the names in the credits? This has got here as well. Grim Jim Zub, Ravaging Rob de la Torre, Villainous Jose Villarrubia, Rigorous Richard Starkings, Merciless Matt Murray. I mean, this brings me right back to those old comics that I love to reread so much. But what it really starts with is what each and every single Conan story should start with. The quote from the Nemedian Chronicles. "Oh, know the prince that between the years when the oceans drank Atlantis, and the gleaming cities, and the years of the rise of the sons of Ares, there was an age undreamed of." And you know that, man. You instantly have to say that in your mind, in the voice of the guy from the beginning of Conan the Barbarian with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That much. That is how much the movie is iconic. Now, as far as Conan the Barbarian goes, I don't read anything else but that which was written by Robert T. Howard. As far as the prose goes, I recently acquired the Chuck Dixon novel, and I am just at the beginning of it. But I've always enjoyed the comics, and let me tell you, man, as far as adaptations go, you can't do better than or more iconic than the Arnold Schwarzenegger film. But also, you've got a little introduction to the story itself. And it goes, "On the road of kings, following the sack of Venarium, young Conan of Cimmeria chose a path that few of his countrymen ever heard before or since, one that led him past the borders of his homeland into the grand world of adventure. While abroad, he learned and plied the trades of a mercenary and thief, and encountered threats found in this physical realm and those beyond, leading Conan, now hardened beyond his years, to journey back to Cimmeria to seek respite and a sliver of solace, only to encounter a looming threat more ominous than otherworldly than any he had faced before." So, what you start with then is, of course, Conan the Barbarian in the middle of a fight, in medias res. He is fighting with a band leader whose fault it was that some band members perished. And by this, Conan the Barbarian proves that he not only is he a ferocious warrior and a mercenary, but also a man with honor. A man with honor so much that he risks his own life, he risks his own position just to avenge his brothers at arms. And now I had to censor one little thing at this page. Look at that, please. Look at the screen right now. Man, just on this half a page that I took from the comic, and I have the physical copy, it's glorious. Just from this half a page, you see everything that you need to have from a Conan the Barbarian book. It's proper sword and sorcery, Conan, muscled warrior, and you've got some nice titties there. So, I mean, already this is a tremendous start. What I also appreciate, for example, if you look at the next page, is that it's apparently not all done on computers. It's quite clearly, and if I'm wrong, please do correct me in the comments down below. It's quite clearly drawn by hand. And that is something that you don't see that often today in modern comic books and graphic novels. The artists are using the advantages of computers maybe too much. And I also appreciate extremely when art is being done by hand, by a human being. And then what I also appreciate is, if you know something about new comic books, if you look at the next page, especially Marvel, they are all about writing people sitting around a table and eating all the time, talking about stuff. And that is absolutely extremely boring to read about in each and every single comic book issue of each and every single title. But when there is a scene of, people eating, and Conan is, it's not uncommon for a Conan story to include a scene in a tavern, in a camp, in a city where he feasts after a battle. But you can write and draw scenes like that correctly as well. And so that you have to choose, and I'm not an expert in art, in drawing comic books, but in my opinion, you have to make each and every single page dynamic. You only have that much space. You've only got about 20 to 24 pages in a comic book issue, in a comic book floppy. And so you have to use each and every single space to make it look good, to keep the audience reading the comic book, because it is a visual medium. And let us be honest, the majority of the comic books that we read for action. We want to be entertained by something badass, by something dynamic, by something good looking. And a couple of characters drawn on computer, and those characters are just sitting around the table, and they are very much static and talking about something nonsensical. It's not a very good read. This, on the other hand, is. And then, of course, they are talking about Conan and his past, and we've got a very, very beautiful summarization of his life, and basically everything that we know about Conan, that he did everything. He did all that he could in his life. He was a thief. He was a mercenary. He was a warrior. He is a traveler. He comes from Cimmeria. His ultimate goal is to become the king. Very nicely done here as well. And then, of course, we've got the start of the plot here. A man comes screaming dark omens, and devilry. And so we get to know that the skies got black. And a messenger comes on a steed. Beautifully drawn horse, by the way. And the proportions are quite correct as well. Now, from what I've heard, many comic book artists have huge problems drawing horses. And I don't blame them. I mean, if you saw some of my horses that I drew, wow, not very good. So, a messenger comes and warns the villagers in a camp where Conan is against an army of possessed picked warriors. And so that we've got an army of zombie-like looking possessed warriors attacking the village. And what continues is like a half of a comic book just filled with battle. Just action upon action upon action, beautifully drawn, not too much, not overly too much dialogue, which is of course what we don't need in scenes like this. We don't need people like having extremely long dialogues or monologues while fighting. And now the main spoilers come. Conan teams up with his messenger, a woman, and they escape. The village is taken over by the quote-unquote zombies, and they decide to go to Cimmeria. Conan wants to take that messenger woman to Cimmeria to regroup, so on and so forth. But what is really unpleasant is that she tells him that the army that she's been following and the army that had eradicated her entire tribe is too fast, and they're probably already in Cimmeria. And that's the beautiful cliffhanger at the end of the comic book. Man, this just makes you want to buy the next issue and read it immediately. So this is what a proper comic book issue should look like. And for that matter, a proper Conan the Barbarian comic book should look like. A proper sword and sorcery, muscles and swords, possessed armies and tits, action, hand-drawn beautiful art, not too much dialogue, and an intriguing cliffhanger. I am satisfied, and I can't wait to read the next issue. My friends, this is a 100% recommend. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and that will be all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm out of here.